want to help people. And I want to help people in a small scale because you just got to help them in the beginning. And I think that's the hardest part, because if I sit
Get
here
them started.
I don't want to be here and be like, hey, let me teach you how to buy a $50,000 Rolex and stuff like that, or how to make 20 grand a month, because if you've never even made 2 grand on your own, I can't convince you to make 5 grand on your own. You know what I mean? So like, I think I just want to help that individual that just wants to leave their job or has a business where they're making even 10 grand a month and they want to go to 15. And I think if you do that for people, then they start believing in mentors and succeeding and reading and all that and taking courses and just collaborating with other individuals that have been there and done that.
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, like every other day, folks, I've got a real treat for you. Edwin Lopez in the house. What's up, Edwin?
What's going on, Brad? How are you?
Dude, good to have you here, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man, this guy's a serial entrepreneur. If you guys don't know who he is, you got to check him out. He's at realedwinlopez.com. He's a freaking entrepreneur from Los Angeles, California, an immigrant from El Salvador, and a high school dropout like many of us.
Yep.
And, dude, now you are the successful owner of Acoustic Auto Detailing in Beverly Hills, MTK Gym, a Muay Thai Kickboxing almost franchise by now. We got 2 locations.
Yeah, 2 locations. We just opened up a second location.
North Hollywood and Glendale.
Yeah.
And an all-around baller. You started a podcast. You're starting to be a little bit of an influencer.
I'm trying. It's called Tales of the Underdog, kind of like myself. And I wanted to start something where I could just interview people who had the same story like myself. And I've realized that a lot of the entrepreneurs and people who have been my mentors have all been underdogs.
Yeah, you know, a lot of us are, you know, I think. There's not a lot of stories you hear about, you know, silver spoon people, you know, because there's nothing interesting about that.
Yeah.
And
I was
then,
talking to Ty Lopez.
I'll also try to get close to that mic as you can so we can hear that thundering.
There you go. Yeah, I was talking to Ty Lopez and I told him, like, and he talked about underdogs and he was just saying, like, America loves the underdog. America loves people hearing stories of people who, you know, they were out for the count and they made a huge success for themselves. So,
well, what makes you an underdog?
For myself, so I'm an immigrant from El Salvador. I came to the United States when I was 1 year old with my family. I dropped out. I was never good in school. I always failed, always ditched. You know, I never even tried. My mom was a hustler. She would sell Mexican blankets right there by the LA Coliseums. She would sell tamales, all that stuff. And so, you know, I lived in the ghetto. I mean, you name it. We've been through a hostage situation where somebody held us by gunpoint for like 18 hours, SWAT team going into our house, all kinds of stuff.
By random or?
It was a neighbor. So we lived in the projects in North Hollywood, and it was a neighbor who, it was like, if you know the projects, there's normally like 100, 150 units. So it's huge, you know? And I remember somebody came in, my mom woke up and she said, hey, you know, because my uncle lived downstairs, and she said, hey, I think somebody's breaking in, something's happening to your brother. And so my dad went to go check, and definitely the guy had held them hostage, and the guy's all like, where do you live at? And then he made my dad bring him to our house. And then I remember waking up, and I remember my brothers and my father being execution style with pillows over their head, over the bathtub. I remember my mom crying, and I remember not remembering, but like seeing a guy with a gun. He started shooting in the air, and then obviously somebody called the cops. I looked out the window. There was hundreds of cops everywhere, SWAT team, everything. And I remember the cops telling me to jump out the window. And it was like a 2-story. And I'm like, I'm not jumping out. I'm going to fucking die. And I was like 8 years old, you know? And yeah, at the end, the SWAT team came in. He passed out, and they took him in and all that.
He passed out?
Yeah, he got so drunk. So he just passed out.
Did you know who it was?
He was a neighbor.
It was just a neighbor?
Yeah, it was just a neighbor.
Why did he take you guys hostage?
He was just trying to rob somebody.
So he was stupid too.
Yeah, he was stupid. You know, the crazy part is that...
Why would you rob someone in the projects? They don't have anything either.
Exactly. But the crazy part was that he was let out a week later, and they didn't even tell us. And I saw him in the alley driving by.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was crazy.
How do you feel about LA right now with all the stupidity going on?
It's crazy. It's crazy right now. My artistic auto detailing is in Beverly Hills, and we are constantly getting like notices from the Beverly Hills department to be careful. Don't wear nice watches. People are getting robbed in elevators. People are getting
All
kinds of stuff are happening. So it's pretty crazy.
Broad daylight or restaurants
all the time.
And it's not even against the law from what I hear.
Yeah.
As long as it's below a certain amount, you're free to steal.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. It's really, really crazy. And a lot of people are having us starting to pick up their cars because we deal with a lot of celebrities. And so people are just having us pick up their cars, go to their homes, whatever it takes to make them at least feel more comfortable. So,
well, then obviously you're trusted.
Yeah, definitely. I've been doing it for 18 years. So
how'd you get started with that?
So I used to work at a junkyard when I was 25 years old, making $7 an hour. I remember one of my friends came to visit me, a childhood friend. He drove up in a Bentley. He was just stopping by. He's like, "How you doing, Edwin? How's everything?" And I was like, "Great." And I saw his Bentley and I saw somebody washing his car. I said, "What are those guys doing over there?" And he's like, "Oh, they're just washing my Bentley." And I was like, "Fuck, we both grew up in the ghetto. How is it that you have a Bentley and I'm here working in the junkyard?" And he's like, "Oh, I did this thing real estate." And I was like, "Okay." And then I remember he gave me this book called Think and Grow Rich. He's like, "You should read this book." And from that day on, I held on to his tailcoat and I just changed completely my life. I gave up my vices. I gave up drugs. I gave up selling drugs. I gave up my old friends, drinking and everything. I told him, "Can you teach me?" And he told me, "Absolutely." And so from then on, I just took off. You know, I took advantage of having mentors. I didn't know what mentors was, but just anything he would tell me, I would do. If he would tell me, read a book, do this. And at that time, the next year, I met this gentleman named Patrick David. And this is 2006. So Pat wasn't who he is now, you know? And I joined his company. And when I met Pat, I was like, this guy's going to be something huge, you know? And he always had that aroma, that essence. When he walked into the room, that presence where like, you knew he was going to be huge, and he was very influential even at that time. And I asked Pat, I was like, "Can you mentor me? I'll wash your cars for free. Just give me 2 minutes after I wash your cars." And he started to mentor me after that.
Did he let you wash the cars for free?
In the beginning, yes, he did. In the beginning, I would just do it just to kind of get my foot in the door. Eventually, he wanted to pay me and all that, in which he did. But I didn't care about that. Like, I just wanted his mentorship.
I know, but I like if someone said that to me, I would. You know, I like that initiative, but I would also feel bad, you know, because for some reason I don't value my advice and my time as much as I should. Even Patrick was here the other day. He said, "Dude, you're I think you're bigger than you think you are." Which again, I mean, you know, some people say, "Well, he's just being humble." It's not that. It's just like, to me, a lot of this is common sense. You know, like Think and Grow Rich, I tell people to read that book all the time, you know. But when you read the book and now you're like, well, dude, like that shit's pretty much common sense, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone can be successful. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, totally.
I always say, if I can do it, you can do it. Well, now I'm listening to you. Well, shit, if he can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
Like what you had the whole world against you.
Yeah, definitely. And I just think, I don't know. I think that's why the underdogs always have an advantage. I just feel that there's like, kind of like Albert says, he has a chip in his shoulder, you know, and just people talk shit and make fun of you and this, and they, you know, bet against you.
Did people make fun of you?
All the time.
What were they making fun of?
Just said that I had a big head, and that and they just would say that I just, you know, because for Salvis, they're called cerotes, which means shit, because we're always saying cerotes. And so they would always call me that, and they were just, you know, just nobody. When you're in the hood and you live in the projects, nobody really gives a shit about you, especially, you know, society. At least we think they don't, you know, which I think we're just in our own pity, and we just don't see outside of the ghetto in a sense. And, you know, it just nobody really gives two shit about you. At least you feel when you're in that moment, until somebody really gets your hand and takes you out of that and makes you and shows you the opportunity that America has. Because I'm a prideful American.
Like, yeah, but that's what you're doing now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if there's people in the bomb squad that have been thinking about starting a business, you literally created another business coaching people how to start and grow a business to 7 figures.
Yeah.
That's because a lot of people come in here and they want to coach the guys from 8 to 9. You're like, dude, I'll coach you from nothing to 7 figures. I'll show you how to get out of the freaking shithole that you're in. What if they don't have any money, like, per se? Because you didn't have any money when you started. How'd you start getting money? Because you need a little money. You got to incorporate. You got to, you know, you said you bought mentorship. So how did you create money to begin with?
Okay, so when I started the auto detailing, it was the junkyard that we worked at. It was for classic cars, classic American cars. So me and my business partner at that time, we said, hey, let's go halvers. So I remember we calculated it was about $8,000 to buy a used van, buy the equipment to wash cars, and just we weren't gonna have any savings. So it took us about 8 months to do it. He came up with 4,500. I came up with 4,500, and we just started off. But we had nothing. I had $125 in my savings, and I said, listen. We were making maybe $75, $80 a day then. So we said, if we wash cars for like $35, we wash about 10 of them. We just kind of like, we just go out there and we just be relentless. We'll make something. Well, at least we'll make what we were making at our job. And that's what we did. But the problem that I had with my partner at that time was that I wanted to wear a tie. And I said, we should be different. I'm like, if you look at these guys, they're like flip-flops, shorts, and a t-shirt. I'll say, we should dress up and tailored shirts. Let's go to Ross. Let's wear a tie and let's wear an apron. And let's say that we know how to do the best cars in the world. Like we've been doing it forever, but we've never washed a car before, you know? And so people would come and they'll be like, man, you guys look like Jehovah's Witnesses, you know? And they would make fun of us and all that. But finally, somebody gave me a chance and they said, oh, you know what? I'm going to let you do my BMW 7 Series. And I remember getting into the car, and that's when the push start started. And I didn't know how to turn on the car. And the guy had told me, have you ever done a BMW? I was like, all the time, you know? And nevertheless, so got that one going. And then what I did, my business partner at that time, he said, you know what? I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to do this. And he's like, you need to buy me out. And I was like, bro, I ain't got no fucking money, dude. Like, how do you want me to buy you out? And he was like, I don't know, man, but I don't want to do this. So my dad had a Mustang, a 1965 Mustang. And I told him, hey, Dad, he wants me to buy him out. I don't got any money. And he's like, let's sell my Mustang. And if you go on my page and you see that 2 years ago, I bought him a fully restored Mustang as a gift for Father's Day as a token appreciation.
Oh,
and I
that's
surprised
cool.
him about it. Yeah. And he just, it was unexpected, but like we did a whole video of it. It was all fully restored, inside out, red guts inside, white outside. And so he sold the Mustang for $2,500. I borrowed the other $2,000 from somebody else, and that just kind of I started on my own. So I said, from this point on, I'm going to work every single day from 6 in the morning to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm just going to be relentless. And I just started like just going everywhere and just telling everybody, I would do everybody's cars for free. And I'd be like, just give me a chance. Let me show you. And everybody, because I did such excellent work, people started to trust me. And so from then on, I started doing for shops. They started introducing me like, I remember I started doing like Kim Kardashian, and this is right when the video came out and all that. Like at that time, it was like fresh. They started introducing me to all these celebrities and all these people, and then just people started hiring me after that and starting to get to know who I was.
So how do you teach someone how to get that? Because that might just have been luck.
Yeah, well, I think what I always tell people, I teach them to believe. I think if you don't have any belief, it's going to be hard for you to do anything else. So I think a lot of people that talk to me and they come into my coaching program and say they don't have any belief in anything. You know, they don't believe that they deserve it. They don't believe that they could do it. They're hungry. I think you ask anybody, everybody's hungry for change. But very, very few people have belief. I mean, even myself, when I started my coaching program with Wes, he told me, like, he's like, you got to believe that you can help other people. You know what I mean? Because I told him, like, well, I have all these people that are asking me for help, but can I really do it? And he's like, absolutely. And so we sat down, we had a one-on-one and everything. And he's like, bro, you have the fucking perfect story. He's like, you just got to make these people believe in themselves. And, you know, you've had Wes before in your show. And he always says it's not about how, it's who. And that's kind of like where I'm at. Like I told you, I lost 63 pounds in the last 12 months. And it's because of who I had to become in order to be more successful. And that's kind of what I tell people is like, who do you need to become in order to be able to achieve your dream? So I always ask people like, okay, how much did you make last month? Let's just say they made $3,000. All right, let's just make $3,000. You know what I mean? Because if you tell somebody like, hey, I'm going to teach you how to make $50,000 a month, $30,000 a month, something that's they've never done before, it's really hard for individuals. So if you could convince them to make $3,000 of what they were doing at their old job in the career that they want to do, it's more doable than trying to teach somebody to make six figures or even $1,000 on top of what they're doing right now. And if you get them to that point, then that changes their mindset.
So what do you give them, ideas or something?
Yeah, well, I have a breakdown of whatever it is that they're doing, because I'm sure you know that most businesses are all the same. You know what I mean? Whether it's calling, cold calling, it's building systems, getting leads, networking, things like that. So I teach them to do the basics. So what's the basics? You know, let's say, for example, if somebody has an auto detailing business, like I have myself, and that's where I started off, go around and passing out business cards. Go to body shops, cut a deal, go to hotels, you know, go to restaurants, start giving stuff out. Go to CEOs, come here to Lightspeed, come see your Ferrari and offer you a detail. You know what I mean? Things like that. It works. Who's going to turn it down? Everybody needs a wash. If you get your car washed right now, you're going to need one next week.
Well, what's funny is someone said that once. I said, yeah, you can come do it. They came and did it, and I never hear from them.
Yeah, well,
I called them twice, and they were busy. I'm like, dude. So I called someone else.
Well, you know why, right? And this is what happens to majority of them. They're afraid to hire people. So what happens is Brad pays them $50, let's just say, to wash their car. And then there's another guy with a Ferrari that comes up and says, hey, I'll give you $55. And they're always chasing the money. And that's a big problem that people have, as opposed to saying, hey, I'm going to charge a high price. Like say, for example, us, we charge $300 a wash. And everybody's $300 a wash. It doesn't matter if you have a Prius or you have a Lamborghini. Everybody pays the same price. So that way, when an individual comes and they say, hey, what do you charge? $300. Okay. And then the next person says, hey, what do you charge? $300. I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? It's too much money. The $300 people are just one type of individual, which is a person that values their time. And that's kind of what we look for. We don't so much look for the people with the exotics no more. We look for people who value their time, because the people who value their time are willing to pay the price. Like, for example, myself, anything that saves my time, I'm willing to pay more, because it's just, time is valuable for me, as opposed to like spending, trying to get the next $50, and then you have people competing and all that, and it just doesn't work out. And that's what happens with people, is that somebody else offers them a little bit more money, and they don't have that value where they value the first person who gave them the opportunity, and they just continue to skip to the next who's willing to give them an extra couple bucks. And that's why they don't build relationships.
Well, not only that, but they're also failing to, scale.
Yeah.
Because if you offered me $50, I'm already doing hers. Well, I'm going to ask him if he wants $30 to go do yours. Yeah. Now I just hired him, gave out a job. I got your 50. I only got 20, but I didn't have to do anything. I'm over there making my 50. Now I'm making 20 off of him doing yours for 50.
Yeah.
And literally that's how you scale a business. But when you first said people are afraid to hire people, that's why, because I want that 50, but I'm busy doing that 50. And I didn't think, man, I should just talk him into doing it for 30.
Yeah.
Or even call another detail company and say, listen, I've got more work than I can handle. Why don't you just give me a commission? I'll start sending my overflow to you.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem that people have. It's just they're afraid to hire people because they don't know how to manage people. Even myself, when I started, I mean, I've gone through it all. I've had people steal clients from me. I've had people steal, I've had people sue me. I've had all kinds of stuff done to me. And it's just you just learn as you go, because if you don't have anybody teaching you how to really hire people and really how to like work with people, that's probably the most difficult in any of our businesses that we have, is really hiring people and people wanting to work and be, in a sense, loyal and wanting to do their part to be able to help you grow the business.
So what do you say to all the people that are right now working landscaping jobs, Burger Kings, fast food, I call it freaking stupid jobs, entry-level jobs? Because, dude, there's bunches of them. And I always wonder, like, why in the fuck would you sit here for whatever you're getting and do this bullshit job as if there's no other jobs in the world available? Because there always is. Better than that, like, again, dude, go sell something. Go sell cars. Go sell furniture. Go sell jewelry. Go sell shoes. Sell something. Like, why would you work at a Burger King ever? Well, I'm 16. No one would hire me. Okay, you're 16. I got you. Go ahead. 16 to 18, work at a Burger King. Get your skills down. But once you're 18 years old, man, like, dude, if I couldn't find a job where I'd have to accept a job at Burger King, that would mean that I literally exhausted every single opportunity and avenue that I could find, and Burger King's my last resort to feed myself. Then I would say, sure, work at Burger King, because working's better than not working. But, dude, if you'll work at Burger King, why don't they find a guy like you that'll freaking give them a little bit of confidence and some blueprints to go out and work for themselves?
But, that's all belief, though. That goes back to belief and your environment. If you don't know, you don't know. It's that simple. I mean, for myself, I didn't know any better. I thought that was my life. I even had a job where I worked at the city, and it was paying me about $1,000 a week. They would pay for my car, they would pay for my gas, and I got a drug test. And I used to think I was always slick because I would always pass that drug test. And one time, that chemical that you would drink so you could pass that piss test, I failed it. And even my boss.
What chemical you would drink?
It was like some. It was like some. If you go to like.
It's like we all know what he's talking about.
If you go like to some like those weed shops or whatever it might be, I don't know what they were back then. But
were
they
you
were
smoking weed?
No, it was cocaine.
Oh.
So yeah, I would sell it and I would do it. And
you can't get high on your own supply.
I know.
Don't you know the basics?
The shit's good. Like I was telling Albert, I was on Albert's podcast the other week, and we were talking about like how sex, alcohol, and cocaine is the best. I'm sorry, alcohol and sex with cocaine is the best. And we just went down a weird rabbit hole about it and all that. But nevertheless, so I got called in, and I would always have it in the trunk of on the glove box, and I took it, and I was like, great. And my boss called me the next day, and he was like, you failed your drug test. And I was like, what do you mean I failed it? He's like, yeah, it came back positive for cocaine. And he's like, I'm going to have to let you go. And my boss himself, he got teary-eyed, he cried, and he was like, you are a freaking good employee, man. And you just effed up your career. And I was devastated. I was like, where am I ever going to get a job like this? Ever. And I was...
You had it made.
I had it made. $1,000 a week.
Benefits. You could have been there 20 years and retired.
Everything.
You could have moved up to superintendent.
Yeah. I honestly thought that was it. That was going to be my career forever. And I was devastated. And what I did was like, I went back to my old job, which was at the junkyard, $7 an hour. And I said, well, I'll go do what I know what to do. And a month later, my friend came to visit me in that Bentley. He came and he gave me that Think and Grow Rich, and it changed my mind. It changed my life.
How's that
forever.
guy doing now?
He's part of PHP with Patrick.
Oh yeah.
Patrick used to be in it. He's doing good.
He's still in it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's still in it. So he's doing good.
Even though
he's there.
Sold.
Yeah.
He's still there.
Yeah.
Temporarily.
Yeah. I mean, he's still the face.
I can't believe you can sell for that much money and then still seem to show up for work and act like it's still yours. Like, dude, as soon as someone bought this place, I'd be like, freaking. But when they buy you, they require you to stick around.
There's like
but mentally, I don't know if he's still around, dude. Yeah. He's doing some big shit now.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I saw he's doing that. I was telling Kim right now, which is fantastic. The app that he's doing,
Connect.
Yeah, that one's gonna be. That's genius because people are always asking for my time or people's time, and how do you tell them?
I'm on there. People keep texting me. It's like $100 to text me. I'm thinking I'm gonna get some killer questions. These guys are just texting me to say, hey, I appreciate your content. What do you think about this? I'm like, dude, this is easy.
No way.
But listen, it's an app to where, if you want to talk to somebody that's been there and done that, there it is.
Yeah.
Simple.
I think it's genius.
That's our little plug for Patrick.
Yeah, I think it's genius. I think it's really good.
Manect on
When
Apple.
did you start doing that?
I don't know. A little while ago.
Nice.
I'm on there.
That's cool.
Manect.
Yeah.
You know why it's Manect?
Yeah, he charges by the minute or something. I saw the podcast.
Because if you want to get someone's time, which is a minute, can I get a minute?
Yeah.
And you want to connect, it's just Manect.
That's genius. I love
Andrew Tate's on Manect.
Is he really? No way. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I told her I want to be on
Patrick, we need Edwin on Manect.
Yeah, I want to be on Manect.
Well, dude, I mean, you're starting businesses. What about the Muay Thai? How'd you get that going?
The Muay Thai? So the Muay Thai, I used to be a student with my business partner. I just went. I wanted to drop the bad habits, get into shape and all that when I was young. So I did it. I was pretty consistent in everything in my early 20s. And
were you in a gang or something?
No, never.
Just tatted up for fun?
Just tatted up. Yeah.
Were you in prison or anything?
Nothing. I went to jail once.
So you just look like a criminal.
Some would say. You know what I mean?
I got tattoos. I just hide them.
What do you got?
I got tattoos not all over, but I got tatted. If I took my shirt off, I'm a little tatted, not solid. Okay. I told my wife I want to get a sleeve. She said no. She's all freaking prim and proper.
Really?
Yeah, but I think when I'm maybe another 4 or 5 years, I'm gonna sleeve up.
You should. Are you gonna do the?
I like it. I like the way it freaking looks, man.
Are you gonna do it like the whole anesthesia stuff where they put you to sleep and they do it all in one session? Have you seen that?
No, but that ain't a bad idea.
Yeah,
because it hurts like a bitch, dude.
It does. It does. Well, Wes just redid all his stuff. Did you see it? Like in the last 2-3 days, he redid his whole back and.
Well, he told
chest.
me he was like darkening it or something.
He was gonna get. They were gonna get gold.
He's tatted from tip to tail.
Yeah, but if you look at it now, it looks super dark, like really bright, and it looks really good. Really, really good.
Where'd you get yours done?
All this right now, my artist has been Manny Brisno. He's in North Hollywood. He's been doing all my stuff. I have a full Jesus Christ in my bag. I have a full American Eagle.
Do you know
here.
what Jesus' real name is?
Yes.
What?
Joshua, you said?
That's right. Yeah. Joshua.
Yeah. I saw the video with your daughter. That was crazy.
Isn't that crazy, dude?
You want to tell her the story, like about what happened to your daughter not so long ago?
My daughter almost drowned. And technically, we don't know how she didn't, because she should have been. Thank God she didn't. But then she started saying, Yahshua out of the blue. Like, we don't talk about Yahshua at home. We're not holy rollers and go to church and, explain to her about Jesus or Yahshua, because his name's Yahshua. A lot of people obviously go by Jesus. Well, if I were to introduce myself to you and I were him, or I were to meet you and you asked me who I am, I would say Yahshua, because he doesn't even know the name Jesus. I mean, he does because he is who he is. But my point is that wasn't his name. His name was Yahshua, period. Anyone that wants to argue that needs to do some homework, because that's what his name was and is. But people call him Jesus because, we're all followers and we just do what we're told. But his name is Yahshua. So she almost drowned. We don't know how she didn't. And then out of the blue, she starts saying stuff. So this video, she was in the bath. Listen to what she's saying. Listen.
What are you saying?
Yeshua.
What's that? What are you saying? Yeshua?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
She'll just start chanting that. It's the most bizarre thing ever.
Yeah.
But anyway,
when I saw that, it gave me goosebumps. I was just like, wow.
well, that's why when people say Jesus, I always tell, because let's say your name's Edwin, but along the way someone decided to tell everybody your name was Manny, and now everyone's saying Manny, even though they mean you, which is nice. But if you introduced yourself to someone, you wouldn't say my name's Manny. You would say my name's Edwin. How does she know his real name? Did she meet him? Was he the one that freaking kept her alive and protected her? Did she go to heaven and then get sent back because she's here to do something major? Gave me the chills too. It's like, dude, because I mean, again, I have said Yahshua. I always tell people that. Why? Because, dude, if you told me, if I met you and you said, look, my name's Edwin, a lot of people refer to me as Manny because somebody along the way lied, basically. But my name's Edwin, and I really would appreciate if everyone actually called me my name. I wouldn't call you Manny anymore. Now, I'd call you Manny if I didn't know any better, but once I knew better, and I knew you wanted me to know your name and use your name and give praise to your name, I would never call you by this other name again. Why? Well, because that's not your name.
Yeah.
So all the people in the world that are saying Jesus, again, do I think they're wrong and they're going to hell? And no, dude, all I'm saying is, that's not his name. Never has been. And it still isn't. His name's Yahshua.
Where do you think it changed?
I know where it changed. It changed when they were translating the Bible to Greek. They didn't have the sounds, so they changed it to Iesus, I-E-S-O-U-S. Mm-hmm. So it was originally Iesus, which became Jesus. I mean, the letter J didn't even come around until the 15th century, right? So until the 1500s, there wasn't a letter J. So it wasn't Jesus, especially back then. But when they translated it from Aramaic, it went from Yahshua to Iesus, because they were trying to explain to the Greek that this is a deity and it's a male deity, because all men had an S at the end of their names. And so basically they changed it so people would understand. And people were like, well, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, but they changed it. They changed his name so people would understand. I understand that they did that, but they changed it. That's not his name. They changed his name to get people to understand. That's called a transliteration. So in my mind, who had the authority? It's to make meaningless or useless. So don't make my name meaningless and useless is what basically that means. And how much more useless can you make a name by not using it? Like if I just stopped using your name, I can't make it any more useless.
Yeah.
And he said, don't do that. So now that I know his name's Yahshua, I say Yahshua. I'm always going to say Yahshua. And the only time I say Jesus is when I'm talking to someone to let them know what I'm talking about. So again, take that for what it is. But anyway, isn't it crazy how she just says Yahshua now?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Especially that she was in the water. Is that when she first did it? Like the first time? When she was in the bathtub that your wife noticed it?
No, my wife said for about 3 or 4 days she's been saying Yahshua, Yahshua, Yahshua. And I said, well, frick, next time she does it, like take a video so I can see it.
Wow.
And that was like the 3rd day.
Wow.
And I haven't heard her do it myself, but I'm working a lot. Wow. But anyway, back to the entrepreneur shit, because that's what people are tuning in for. They want to hear stories like yours. But more importantly, what did you do different that everybody else needs to do different? Because there's a lot of people that listen to this show that, like, you know, they're working for somebody else right now. They want to quit. They want to, you know, be a baller, wear the watches, get the cars, get the houses, but they don't have the belief. They don't have the confidence. What caused you? What can they do?
Well, definitely is mentorship. I think that's been the biggest. I didn't know what mentors were back then, but I just got fascinated with being around people who were successful or people who had stuff, who just had a better life than me. It wasn't so much that, oh my goodness, I wanted the Bentley and anything like that Carlos had at that moment. I just wanted a better life. He looked great. He was eating in nice restaurants. He wasn't struggling.
Well, why didn't you do real estate then? That's what he was doing.
Because I've always been a person who loves physical work, even till now. Like, I just love doing physical stuff. You know, it's just something that I'm good at. I've just gotten smarter to be able to hire more people now to be able to help me expand. And going back to like the mobile detailers, you know, it took me about 8 years before I hired my first person. I did everything myself for a long time.
Stayed small, didn't you?
Yeah. I even made 6 figures, you know, on my own, but still I realized that at some point I was like, how long can I really continue to wash cars? And shit, I mean, 6 figures doesn't become a lot once you kind of make that your lifestyle. You want to get to the next level. And I figured I need help. I need to start hiring people. And so
nobody, by the way, in history has been massively successful all by themselves.
Yeah, I realized that. Like, I haven't met everybody that I've learned is big has a team in every aspect. And that's why now I tell people the first thing you should do is hire somebody to help you, because the moment that comes where you tell somebody, oh, I can't, like the way they did with you, where they stopped answering your calls, all it was that somebody was willing to pay a little bit more. And that's bad business.
No, because I paid them well, and I always tip well. It's they were busy.
Yeah.
They couldn't get to everybody.
Yeah. Which is bad within itself, you know? And so
they call like, you know, well, we can get there, you know, next Friday. Well, dude, I want my car washed today.
Yeah.
I'm not going to wait for you. You didn't wash it that fucking good. Like, dude, a good detail is a good detail. Yeah. She does it, you do it. Dude, it's good detail is a good detail.
Yeah.
Why am I waiting for this one particular individual? Just like a haircut. You know, when I want a haircut, I want a haircut. Like, I'll wait a day or two, but let's say I'm going to speak. I need a haircut. Well, we can get you in next Thursday. I'm finding another one.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my haircut somewhere else. Same thing with detailing. Shit, dude, you want to detail my car? And he did it for free the first time, which I paid him anyway because I feel bad. You know, they're doing it for free to show me and earn my business, but I don't take advantage of that. I pay them anyway, And if they did a good job, I'll let them keep doing it. But in this particular case, they did it for free, which I tipped them $100. So basically it wasn't free. And then I'm like, cool, they did a good job. I'll use them again. But then they weren't consistent.
Yeah.
But that's customer service and all other aspects of a business. I want to go back to inspire somebody listening to either call you or call somebody or do something to jump. So a year from now, 2 years from now, somebody's on a podcast somewhere saying, I was listening to Dropping Bombs. I heard this dude named Edwin, and that son of a bitch was in the same situation I was. And his story made me believe in myself. So what would you tell those people?
Well, definitely, I think mentorship is huge, at least for even now where I'm at right now, where I want to go to the next level. I think having a mentor is somebody who's going to break down what is it that your goals are, where do you want to go, how to hire people, how to call people back, how to put people into a spreadsheet, be able to follow up with people, be able to put people in appointments. It completely changed my business. Even when I was by myself, I still made six figures. I was able to create a 6-figure company. But I just think people need mentors. I think you get to a point in any aspect of your life, even our Muay Thai gym, you need coaches, you need mentors, you need people when you hit that plateau or where you feel you can't go anymore, or you're stuck or anything like that. That's where they come in and they really change your life. And that's kind of like where I am with individuals who have joined my coaching program. It's like, where are you at? Do you have a job? Are you doing mobile detailing? I have people who do, who are barbers, who have notary, who are just stuck, and they're just normally every single person that I'm coaching right now is a one-man army who just can't get out of making either $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. They want to learn how to get to the next level. And sometimes it's just as simple as having systems and procedures, knowing your metrics, knowing how to communicate with your customer, how to properly doing appointments. And at the end, one of the most important is scaling your business with other individuals in it to help you.
Where would people go if someone's like, dude, I like this guy, I'll go coach with him? Where would they go?
The real Edwin Lopez on Instagram.
Just DM you?
Yeah, just DM me right now. Kim helps me out with all that. And right now, we have a good amount of individuals that we're helping, but it's just changing people's life, and just really helping them out from the beginning. I'm not here to be like, hey, let me teach you how to make 5 million, 10 million, because I'm not there. Just teach you how to make $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 more than what you're making right now, and be able to believe in yourself or quit your job and start something. So that's the most important.
Yeah, it feels good. But I always tell people, listen, if you work for yourself, a lot of people think, man, then I can do what I want. In reality, that's not necessarily true. You can do what you want, but if you don't work like it's your job, you're going to need one again.
Yeah.
Because, dude, when I started working for myself, I worked harder than I did and longer than I did working for someone else. But I felt different because I was in charge. No one gets to tell me what to do. And then when I met my wife, she was working for a family. And one day on a Sunday, the dude called and said, hey, we need you. And she had to get up and go over there on a Sunday when I wanted to chill and hang out. And I realized, man, some dude just picked up the phone and caused my girl to go to him. And I'm like, oh no. I said, babe, listen, I got your bills, girlfriend. You ain't got to run when someone rings your phone anymore. So go tell them you're done. And she was happy about it. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. So she went and quit. I'm like, I don't like that shit.
Nice.
So the freedom that comes with it's nice, and it's worth a major amount of money. People don't realize that. Let's say you're making 60 grand, you quit and you only make 40 grand. Well, dude, you're not factoring in the $500,000 in value for now working for yourself. And not only that, you're not factoring in the potential. Even if you got to go backwards a little bit in the beginning, that's okay, dude, because now you've got potential. More than likely at that job that you had, you never would have made hardly anything working for the state.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's nobody working for the state getting rich unless they're crooked politicians.
But it's crazy because you listen to, and I'm sure you heard it, at least back in the days, like union jobs were like it, right? Back in the days, if you were part of a union, you had it made. And that's what they were pitching at me. Like, oh, you got to get into the union. You got to do this. You got to do that. And that was my ultimate dream, to be a Teamster, to do something, for the company.
Dude, you're the one dude that I know that has a positive outcome from doing coke.
Yeah. No, there's many of us out there. Look at Albert. Albert was, if you see our podcast, the same story.
But the only reason you fucking got out of being the dumbass is because you did coke and got popped for a freaking UA.
Yeah.
That's directly related to coke.
Yeah.
Albert might have done coke, but that's not why he made it.
Yeah, that's true.
You made it because you got popped for coke.
Yeah.
Because you said if you didn't, like if that screener shit would have kept working, you'd have still been there.
Yeah.
And nobody would even know who you were. You wouldn't have been able to help anybody. You wouldn't be wearing a freaking rose gold Prezi.
Yeah.
You'd still be just freaking Edwin Lopez over at freaking extension 206 at the freaking California Department of Dipshits.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I'm totally grateful for that and everything. Now that I look back, I'm like, man, you're right. I've thought about it many times where I'm like, shit, I would have been stuck in that job. But I've been able to create something that I'm just like, it just kills me to see other people. And they're just, even people that I coach, it's very hard at times. People are very difficult for change, you know, even if they jump on your program, pay you and all that, like people fight against you, you know. You would think that they'd just be like, all right, tell me how to do it and I'm going to do it. And it's like, it's hard for people to drop bad habits and vices and all that because
it's their mindset.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They have limited beliefs.
It's
even though they pay you and trust you and think, okay, I'm going to do this, and there's a chance to get out, and then you start telling them what to do, and then they're like, well, I don't really think. And it's like, dude, listen, if you knew what to do, you wouldn't have needed me. So just do what I tell you to do.
And you know, it's one thing that I've noticed, even people who, let's just say, are not, like, I have a lot of people that DM me about coaching and they're just like very skeptical about it. They're like, why am I going to pay you? Like, if I could learn this, and that's another avenue, but it's just people don't understand
to accelerate.
I'm sorry?
To accelerate.
Yeah.
That's why you pay people.
Yeah, but
if someone said, Brad, why would I pay you? Well, number one, because I've done it. Okay. I have blueprints and processes and systems and connections and networks that you don't have, number one. Number two, you can probably make it without paying me, but it might take you 5 years, where if you partnered with me, I call it partnering because, dude, listen, we're getting in freaking business together. You're going to show me how to go kick ass and probably leverage your networks and your connections. Like if I paid you to freaking coach me and I'm a good dude and I'm out doing what you tell me to do and you could introduce me to someone that could help my business and help me, you probably would, correct?
Yeah.
So again, it's not just the information, but the reason why someone would pay a guy like you is to collapse time. I want it in 3 years, not 5 years. I want it in 3 months, not 9 months. And if you got the blueprint and you got ideas and you got connections and relationships that I can leverage, dude, I'll give you my money, because in reality, dude, money's worthless unless you use it. If someone has the money, see, I'm worried about the people that don't have the money. Why? Well, because, dude, how do you help them? I've told people, listen, if you want to make $300,000 to $500,000 a year, easy, get a hold of me. Someone gets a hold of me. I go, look, you got to sell something, right? You got to sell something. So, you know, buy this training from any one of these guys, Andy Elliott, anybody with a sales training course. I had one. I mean, I still do, but I don't really push it as an example for people that come do Lightspeed. But I mean, I wasn't there to sell my course. Buy anyone's course, but you got to learn how to sell. Well, I don't have the $1,400 or whatever. Well, then I can't help you. Oh, dude, all you care about is money. No, dude, you got to have some sort of fucking skin in the game. You don't have to pay to learn to sell, but you got to go learn to sell. Once you learn to sell, I'll even give you the job. $500,000. I'll give you a job at one of my companies, but you got to learn to sell. To me, that's step number one to get out. So if someone came and said, Brad, how are you going to coach me? Well, I might not coach you to start a business right away. Why? You don't have the money to get an LLC. You don't have an idea. I'm not going to sit down and come up with ideas for you. Like, I want to help people accelerate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So like, you know, Wes always tells people, first of all, drop all the vices. How can anybody argue with that? Like, you know,
but you know,
how do you argue with, no, I'm going to still smoke my weed and do my coke and drink my booze. It's just, they don't want to, and they can't stop the vices. But dude, that's just a exercise and discipline, and you need discipline to win, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably one of the most important things, at least for my career, that I've been which is discipline. The problem that I had in the beginning was that I knew how to work hard. I just didn't have the belief in like all the other stuff that seems so simple. Now like this year I probably spent like about $120,000 in mentorship, the most I've ever spent, and it's the most money I've ever made in my career. I'm like, I was telling Kim, like, this year I'm gonna develop myself. I'm gonna just slam onto mentorship. Albert, RD, Wires Only, Wes, who else? Andy Elliott,
Patrick.
Patrick. Like all these people.
I wish I had a program I could sell you.
Yeah, you know. And I told Kim, I was like, we're gonna go ham on this. We're gonna go ham, and we're gonna put everything, and we're gonna execute. And I kid you not, everything has grown. I've had customers who, you know, Zach, he's partners with Chase Hero. You know who he is, right? Yeah. He hit me up. He used to be a client of mine back in the days, and he's like, man, I see you everywhere on Instagram, on the internet now. I'm so proud of you, man. I remember when you used to wash my Rolls Royces and this and that, and it just made me feel so amazing. Where were we? I think we were with Albert or somebody like that, right? I don't remember where we were at, and I'm just like, oh shit, people are starting to notice, you know? And I got my first couple haters. They started talking shit about me and all this. And it's just like, oh, wow, we're on the right track. I told Kim, people are starting to hate me and talk shit about me, you know? And, but going back to it, I think people underestimate mentorship. And I think because they give it to somebody, they have that mindset like, oh, well, you know, they still got to put in the work. They still got to do all of that stuff. You know, a lot of people get mad at Wes. And I'm like, fuck, Wes, this shit's so easy, man. It's so easy. And he's like, I know, but sometimes people make it complicated. And I remember even when I became in Wes's program, I had just finished a boot camp with Andy Elliott and his wife. It was a couples boot camp. And I was at my hotel in Scottsdale. And I called Wes and I was like, hey, Wes, this. And he's like, and you know how Wes talks. He's like, you mother effer. I fucking told you, like, stick to the goddamn blueprint, this and that. I didn't say anything. You know why I didn't say anything? I was like, I'm a grown man. He's a grown man. And he's yelling at me at the top of his lung. And I'm like, he's right. He's completely right. And I looked at Kim and I was like, never again will I call this man unless I've executed. I called him the next day and I was like, bro, I made my first $300. And I called him 2 weeks later, bro, I made 15 grand. Then I called him and I was like, this is the last time I'm calling you. I'm up to 30 grand. And he's like, I fucking told you, man. Execute, follow the blueprint. That's it. It's simple. Don't complicate it. Just execute. That's what I did, man. You know? And even sometimes myself, I find myself like, even though the level where I'm at, it's just sometimes your mentors make it so easy and it is simple that your brain wants to make it complicated. Because like Wes says, he's like, our brain tells us like, if it was this easy, why didn't we figure it out already? And it's just, I don't know. It's just sometimes we think it needs to be complicated and it doesn't. And like you said, collapsing time. Sometimes you'll be like, hey, call. Like for example, our gym, we make 9,000 calls a month on leads. Every day, all of our girls, they call and they call and they call. We are one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Muay Thai Kickboxing Gym in the U.S. that's growing and expanding. We went from going out of business in 3 months to making a 7-figure company, buying out a UFC gym that was going out of business in Glendale and just expanding and people wanting to invest. Even Ty Lopez, which I had him on my podcast last week, and he was like, hey, tell me a little bit more about your gym and this and that. And, you know, we're going to go into talks about that. Just telling him, hey, I maybe want to franchise or do something. You know, I've never done it before, so I don't know the experience, but having the right person, you know, collaborating with you could take you to the next level.
Mm-hmm. Better listen up, folks. Stop with all the excuses. So, dude, what's next? You just going to keep rolling? What's next?
Yeah. So it feels good to help people. I mean, I think that's something that I've noticed from all my mentors and everybody, that you get to a point where you, in a sense, want to give back because you see people that are hungry. You see people that want change. You see people that are struggling, especially myself. For somebody who's from El Salvador, I was talking to Albert last week.
El Salvador.
Yeah.
That's Latino still.
Yeah. And he was telling me, he's like, you know, there hasn't been a Salvi person that continues to say, hey, I'm a Salvadorian American who's helping people out there. You should be the first one. And I'm sure there's successful ones out there, you know, but somebody who's really came out into the social media or like put themselves out there to be not only help people, to be criticized as well, because anytime you want to help people, you're going to be criticized. And he's like, you should be that person. And honestly, it was that moment where it was like, I'm going to be that guy. And I think that's where I'm going. I want to help people. And I want to help people in a small scale, because you just got to help them in the beginning. And I think that's the hardest part, because if I sit
Get
here
them started.
I don't want to be here and be like, hey, let me teach you how to buy a $50,000 Rolex or stuff like that, or how to make 20 grand a month, because if you've never even made 2 grand on your own, I can't convince you to make 5 grand on your own. You know what I mean? So like, I think I just want to help that individual that just wants to leave their job or has a business where they're making even 10 grand a month and they want to go to 15. And I think if you do that for people, then they start believing in mentors and succeeding and reading and all that and taking courses and just collaborating with other individuals that have been there and done that.
Let me ask you a question. If I said I'll trade you, but you got to decide right now, I'll trade you this watch for that watch, would you trade?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because I know what that watch is way
Just-
more than mine.
Just checking. You go get a couple more. You sell this and go get that back and put 100 in your pocket.
And I'll be here at part 2 and talk about the watch, how I made a great deal with you.
Well, dude, a lot of people don't know. The other day I was sitting at a restaurant and I said, listen, I left my wallet at home. Do you want the watch or do you want me to pay the bill? And this guy had no clue. He goes, you got to pay the bill or they're going to take it out of my check. I said, dude, calm down. I'm joking. But you got to know watches if you're going to freaking be in the wheeler and dealer. A lot of people would say, dude, I'd rather have that one as solid gold.
It's because people don't know. You know what I mean? It's like people look at it and it looks shiny and it looks nice. And don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful watch, you know, but there's individuals
what color fate dial is that?
The chocolate.
Yeah,
So-
that's a good looking one. I need one of those, but I want it with the diamond bezel.
Oh, nice. Yeah, those are beautiful too.
Well, it's just blingy.
Yeah. Are you but you're not really a blingy type of guy though.
Oh, yeah, I am.
You are? Because you're always all in black and your watches are, I mean, they're people who know, but like they're always nice watches, but you're not crazy blingy.
No, I don't do blingy. Well, dude, those blingy watches, they're worth less than people think, number one. Number two, those are aftermarket. Like you don't mess with the watch the way it comes. So the only way to get your watch blinged out is if it comes from the factory blinged out. So I have a Onyx dial presidential yellow gold with diamond bezel. Well, that's factory diamonds. Gorgeous. But, you know, I don't wear it, you know, unless we're going somewhere badass. But yeah, dude, I like diamonds, dude.
Really?
I mean, oh yeah, when I was a little bit younger, I had a gold bracelet with my name in diamonds. And I was walking around, I always liked sparkly shit.
No shit.
But I'm a little bit conservative on you know.
What about cars?
I got a Ferrari or two.
Yeah. But do you have
A
other
Ford
cars?
Raptor. No, I don't go like, dude, I mean, I wish I had all Wes's cars or even Andy Frisella. You know Andy Frisella?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, he's got a car collection. I guarantee you've never seen one like it.
No shit.
Dude, it makes Wes's look like freaking, well, you can't make all those kick-ass cars look shitty, but my point is like he's got 50 times those cars and all of them just bad to the fucking bone. So I wish I had their cars, meaning I wish I could just go out to a garage and be like, yeah, I'll take that one today or that one today. I'm just not into cars that much.
What is your thing that you're into that you're like, there's like, for example, for me, that when it comes down to food, I love quality food. It doesn't matter to me how much it costs.
I do food myself, but right now I'm into investing because I spent my whole life spending, and there's a difference. And you know, I had nice shit when I shouldn't have had nice shit, and now I don't have any investments because I had nice shit. Well, it's all old and gone now. Nobody remembers those $20,000 tables I was paying for.
Yeah.
Nobody remembers the private jets that I was paying for to go on some stupid ass fucking $100,000 vacation thinking I was cool. So I should have just freaking been living normal, investing. And then, you know, right now I probably own a jet, but right now I'm into just finding and buying cash flow assets.
Nice.
But when I sell a few of these companies that I've built, I'll probably splurge a little. And, you know, I still won't have a bunch of cars. I'd probably have a few more than I have. I want a muscle car, like an old American classic.
Like what kind?
Like a 70 Chevelle or a, you know, 69 Camaro Rally Sport Super Sport.
Oh, nice. It's like that James Dean. You got to live up to that name that Patrick gave you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look at all the cars. Like I'd take a one of those Eleanor Mustangs.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know what year it even is. 69?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, 69.
Yeah, some
68.
badass muscle car I'd probably have because I enjoy driving those once in a while. The Ferrari, well, now I got the 296 GTS on the way. So to me, those two are all I need. So I was, why don't you get the SF90? Dude, first of all, they were $1 million. And I knew that the sticker was 600. I hate overpaying. I don't care what it's worth. This I could have got myself. This was a gift from Andy Elliott, by the way.
Oh no shit.
This I could have got myself, but brand new. These are only 40 some thousand. They're 150 if you want one, and you can't get one from a authorized dealer. I'm not paying $150 for this shit. Why? Because I know it's only 49. So again, it's just, you know, I'm splurge in a way in some cases, and then I'm weird in other cases.
Why do you think that is? Because I'm the same way. Like there's certain things that I'll just be like, I don't know. And then there's other things that I'm like, especially when it comes down to my time, it doesn't matter. Like if it could save me time, I'm huge on that because that's what I sell my clients now.
Well, and I tip big though. Why? Okay. Well, because dude, people are serving me. And I think, you know, when I see a waiter, that's how they make their living, unfortunately. And they're serving me. So I want to tip them well. And when I start thinking about, you know, blowing huge money on things that are kind of irrelevant, you know, I don't need 3 Cullinans. You know, do I want one? Yeah, they're badass, dude. Cullinan. I'm probably getting one next, but I don't know. I'm just not that into cars. I'm into them, but not that into them. Like I like Wes's. I like Andy's. I don't need them. They've got them. I'm living vicariously through them. Every time freaking Wes goes out to his garage, I'm like, fuck, dude, that's badass. Yeah. But if someone said, well, Brad, you can have those. Yeah, but then I wouldn't have the cash to invest. I wouldn't have the ability to splurge like I do. Because, I mean, dude, Wes has probably freaking, what, 5 million in cars? Like, if you add them up, it's at least a couple million.
Yeah, definitely over 5.
Yeah, well, dude, choose. You want multiple cars to drive or $2 million in the bank? What would you rather have?
Yeah, the money in the bank. Well, who knows? Because it's weird for me. It's like, just depends on what category I am in my life in the moment, because I'm the same way. I love reinvesting my stuff into my businesses and, you know.
Yeah, but Wes, again, he's got a lot of people coming to him. So he's probably got the cars and millions in the bank. And once you get to that level, you're like, you know, why not have both if you enjoy them?
But you're there right now, aren't you?
Well, again, yes and no. Yes and no. I don't have liquids, millions of dollars. Well, I do, but I don't have a lot.
Right.
Meaning, you know, I've got millions.
Right.
But if I give them to cars, well, then I don't have millions. Now people say, well, you could sell this and sell that. And yeah, that's called net worth. My net worth is more than my cash is. And I don't want to be old and a story of, man, he used to have it all going on. So now it's like, dude, I want my cash so I can invest. And I'm buying real estate and I'm buying properties and I'm looking for businesses to partner with and acquire. I'm going to invest.
Yeah.
Now, give me 3 to 5 years. Let me sell a few of these companies and I might change my mind and have all the fucking kick-ass cars.
When you, Brad, did you grow up like middle class or how'd you grow up?
I would say blue collar.
Okay.
I don't like to say low class because we weren't low class. We were high class with no money. What do you call that?
Blue collar, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
like my dad worked his butt off, you know, worked at the mill. He was entrepreneurial for a brief spell, but something happened at one of his, he had a bar and a pizza parlor mixed, and somebody was in there getting hammered and then went out and crashed on a motorcycle and sued him. And he was partners with my uncle, his brother. And so from the story, because I was young, my uncle canceled the insurance so they could save that money. So they had no insurance and got sued for, you know, letting someone drink too much.
Yeah.
Took him down. Then he went back to freaking working at the mill, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like when you went back to the fucking junkyard. Yeah, but he never recovered from that. He didn't say, you know, let me try this again. Mm-hmm. So he was entrepreneurial for just like a couple of years and was doing pretty well. We went from a little shitty house on the hill to a big house on the hill. He built it. And then boom, got the one smack in the face and it kept him down.
Damn.
So I would say blue collar for most of my life, you know, and I always knew I was going to be rich though. People would say, well, you know, I bet everybody I'd be a millionaire. I said, shit, dude. But I always knew I would.
Where did that come from, you think? That confidence or that conviction?
It wasn't really confidence. I think it was just delusion. Maybe it was belief, like you said. I had the belief from the get-go. I don't know where it came from. I just knew that I always would be.
Did somebody give you like a think and go rich or something happened that sparked you up? What sparked you? What was your first decision? Let me be an entrepreneur.
Well, I don't like working for people because they are your boss. And for some reason, I don't like being told what to do. And someone says, why is that? I don't know. I just don't like being told what to do. Like, I don't want a trainer because they'll tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I've never had a mentor because they'll tell me what to do. And if you tell me what to do for some reason, I don't want to do it. It's fucking weird. It's limited me for a long time because now I realize the value of a coach, the value of a mentor, the value of information. Like, I'm considering hiring Patrick's company to come in and consult for Lightspeed, one of my companies.
Nice.
Because, dude, this is a $1 billion company, but for some reason I'm too in the weeds to understand.
And who got you all chiseled? Because I know Andy and was it Aaron and all them who started getting you all chiseled?
I ain't chiseled.
Well, you started getting swole, or you've been getting swole. You've changed a lot.
Well, I'm doing it.
Oh, okay. But I thought it was because of your association and, you know, your proximity with Andy. You know, that's kind of where it restarted, right?
No, I mean, you know, I went up and down, back and forth before I even knew Andy. Being in shape is always everybody's idea, but, you know, I didn't really have the discipline or the consistency. But what's done it recently is, number one, I'm going to start like kind of practicing what I preach. Because it's easy to say, hey, you need to work out every day, but your fat ass isn't. Yeah. And then it doesn't carry the weight. So I need to be in shape, number one. But then I told my wife, who was getting a little hefty, you can't get hefty, babe. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, babe, I can't have a big, huge wife. Like, you're supposed to be my freaking trophy. You're supposed to be, look, I'm cool. I can get freaking beautiful women. So, you know, we got to start working out. And the next thing you know, dude, she just freaking went boom, and she was freaking in shape. And I went, damn, how'd you do that? And she said, I just did intermittent fasting. And I said, well, because it just happened, it seemed. And so I said, well, listen, you did it. I got to do it. I can't tell her she has to be in shape, then I'm not. So all these things started piling up, and then I just started intermittent fasting, you know, because I was working out before. Yeah. But, you know, and I didn't look bad. I've never been round and obese, but I was definitely chunky. But it was all diet, man. It's all diet. As long as you're working out, that's part of it. The real trick is diet. Like, ask Wes Watson, what's more important, your working out or your diet? And he's going to tell you the diet.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I didn't even know what macros was until I met Wes, and he was like, what are your macros? Fuck, I don't know.
He's shredded.
Yeah, he's huge.
Now, again, do I want to live at the gym? Andy, in my opinion, and I've told him, too obsessed with fitness. Like, Andy's ripped. He's trying to get better.
Yeah, he's huge.
It's like, dude, he's already fucking ripped. You want to spend 9 hours in the gym instead of 2? I want to live a little. I want to eat a fucking donut now and again. I want to have birthday cake with my daughter on her birthday. I want to enjoy life. Why? Well, maybe I'm a little older and I realize, dude, because it doesn't last forever. And you can spend your whole fucking life sacrificing and giving up all the good shit in life only to die really buff. Mm-hmm. And guess what? Ain't no one going to give a fuck about that. I guarantee you eventually you're going to realize, damn, you probably could have went a little less berserk on it.
But isn't that kind of the same way of business? Because we tend to 100%. Sacrifice a lot. We're not there for our kids. We're not there for our family. I know for myself, like, I wasn't there for my first marriage. Like, I worked all the time. I couldn't do a lot of stuff. I couldn't be at my kids' recitals and all that. I had to do what I had to do to survive, working every single day. And it, you know what I mean? And you do that sacrifice to get out of that rut, you know? Now I have people and I have a team and I'm able to be in places like this.
Now you wouldn't sacrifice, would you?
No. Now I understand the value of everything and having a team. And that's why I'd rather pay people to do it. But there was a point where you didn't know that you had to do what you had to do. You had to wear all the hats.
So I'm 54. How old are you?
I'm 43.
Yeah, see, at 54, talk to me. You know, I tell Wes, you know, hey, when you're 54, come talk to me. Yeah. Let's see if he's fucking that intense, because he'll probably still be in shape because he values health. Oh, and he might still be just as intense. But to me, dude, I'd rather be 90% badass, like fitness wise. Like, look, I want to be healthy. I want to be in shape. I want to look good. I don't need veins on my veins. I don't need fucking 3% body fat. And all I eat is fucking white chicken breasts. Like, dude, I want some motherfucking steak and sour cream. I want a baked potato once in a while. I want some cornbread, motherfucker.
Have you ever been ripped, like crazy ripped like that?
Not crazy. The lowest body fat I've ever been is like freaking 10.5%.
That's pretty good.
Dude, I look good.
Yeah.
But dude, I was eating nothing. I was working out fucking basically 2 times a day, every day for a long time. I was weighing my food. I was walking around with my food. People say, you want to go out to eat? No, I'd have a water. Why? Because I can't eat anything except my fucking weighed out bullshit.
I'll tell you one thing, that is probably the hardest thing. Is like doing those multiple meals throughout the day. That's probably because I'm so busy. Well, I like Albert's thing. He does like 2 shakes and like a meal or 2, and he's like, I got shit to do. You know what I mean?
Well, he ain't ripped.
No, I know. He ain't.
I always fuck with him.
No, I know.
You know, he's always, you know, on the treadmill talking about fitness. And it's like, Albert, you know, you ain't that fit, bro. You're not fat. You look good. But come on, dude. You don't even, you're not chiseled at all.
Yeah. I mean, he has his moments. He looks pretty good. Like he's pretty, you know, he has a 6-pack and all that. But he's been in shape forever. If you look at his old pictures, he's always had a 6-pack and all that.
Yeah, but I'm looking at people like Andy.
Yeah, Andy's in a different
Wes.
level.
That's ripped.
Yeah.
And Aaron.
Yeah, they're crazy ripped.
But that's ripped. So when Albert pretends that, you know, he's ripped, Albert, you ain't that ripped. It's just like people say right now, I'm looking way better. Like you said something, you're chiseled. I ain't fucking chiseled, bro. Yeah. I got a long way to get chiseled, but I don't think I'm ever going to get chiseled. Why? Because I don't need to be. And I don't want to be. And I don't allow society to peer pressure me into it. I don't want to be. Dude, to me, there has to be a payoff.
Have you ever done blood work?
Yes, my blood's fucking flawless.
Is it? Because
flawless,
that's one thing that I just got introduced to, which was my blood work. I didn't even know. They're like, there's people that look healthy and they're all shitty inside.
My blood work is flawless. And by the way, it's even getting more flawless, but dude, my blood's fucking flawless.
Really? How's your test?
Gary Brecka came out.
Oh yeah, that's the guy I started to follow. Oh, he's amazing.
Well, dude, he's been on twice. We did my blood work. He freaking was telling me what it's going to look like when it comes back from the spinning machine that his nurse was doing, and you know he was explaining to me that you know when you get past a certain age, it's milky in the top and the bottom. But if you're brand new and you're a baby and it's fucking pure blood, you'll see like, you know, what looks like canola oil at the top and, you know, this at the bottom. And she walked in with the blood and he held it up and he goes, and it was canola oil. And he said, bro, is this his blood? She's like, yeah.
No shit.
He goes, dude, unbelievable. I haven't seen blood like this in probably 15 or 20 years.
Really?
Yeah. And all the markers were freaking awesome and yada, yada, yada. So blood, I'm healthy, knock on wood. But it's the extremism that I don't need. Some people need it. You know, some people say burn your ships. Don't give you any other option. I disagree. I would coach you to burn your ships if you need to, if that's your only option. But dude, when I jumped and started a company, I made sure that I had a backup plan. And that's what gave me the ability to say, fuck it, I'll start a company. Why? Because if worst comes to worst, I'll just go back to work. So I left my job to go start a company, knowing if that didn't work out, I got this. If I thought, dude, it has to work out or I'm fucked, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about you that's I've always admired since the day I've heard you speak for the first time is that you always go against what everybody else says.
It just seems that way because I agree with most people's shit.
Yeah, but you're always like, even when you talk about real estate, when people are like, you have to be all in or you're not. I think I saw this not too long ago where you were talking on stage and you're like, do something else. Like, why the fuck do you have to do real estate? Do something else. Like, and it always seems like, yeah, you're always going against the tide of what every other entrepreneur is saying. And it just makes sense.
Well, because a lot of those guys, dude, they want you to fucking do whatever it is they're trying to get you to do. When I'm talking on a stage, I'm not there to try to sell you anything or get you to do anything. I'm just telling you what I believe. And sometimes it is a little bit contradictory. Like, you're talking about, it was mainly realtors and mortgage brokers, and everyone's whining about the industry. And they're like, what would you do if you were a realtor? And I said, I'd quit. I wouldn't be a realtor. I'd stop doing it. And then I realized everyone's like, you can't stop. Yes, you can. You can quit shit, dude. I used to be doing other things before I did the things I do now, and I'm successful now. I might not have been successful if I'd have kept doing that. So it says, oh, you would have eventually. Point being is, dude, it is okay to quit. You don't have to do what you're doing. You could have quit that fucking detailing business and probably found success somewhere else. And there's a lot of people that would say, yeah, I did. Exactly. So quit saying it. You can't, because you can. And plus I'm known as literally. Like someone asked me a question and I take it literally.
Yeah.
So when someone says, well, you got to do this, you don't got to do that. You know how many ways there are to get rich? Just like you got to be in shape. Andy Elliott tells you, you got to be fucking ripped to be successful. Not true. I know successful fat people, but then he makes a good point. But are they really successful if they're fat? Well, again, in your opinion, no, but in their opinion, yes. And guess what? Their opinion is what matters. Now, if you ask me, well, Brad, we want your answer. My answer is, if you look good, you're healthy, and you feel good, you're going to do better. And that's true. You're going to feel better about yourself. That's true. So I think you should exercise. I think you should work out, and I think you should be in shape, where when you take off your shirt, you look good. You feel good. People are like, damn, dude, you look good. But do I think you need to have 3% body fat? No, I don't think you do. And I don't want to. And if I don't want to, nobody, Wes, Andy, is going to convince me that I have to, because I don't. Right. And technically, neither does anybody. Neither do they.
Right.
But that's what they want, and that's what they believe. So guess what? I support them. And do I wish I was? Yes, but I am not willing to sacrifice what it takes, because the payoff, bro. Everything has a cost, right?
Yeah.
The price is, to me, too high.
But isn't it the same thing when it comes down to business? Because I'm sure in your businesses, when you started, like, there was moments where you didn't have anything. You didn't have any success, so you had to pay the price. And you didn't quit.
But dude, it's the same way. The price, in my opinion, for financial sacrifice was, dude, it was worth it. Why? Well, dude, I'm gonna miss a few days with my kid. Okay, to me, everyone, oh, that's crazy. You're never gonna get that back, dude. Listen, I wanted to be able to provide financially for my kid and my family when they got old enough to worry about it. My 2-year-old daughter, when I get home, she don't give a fuck if I'm working during the day. How do I know? Because when I say goodbye, she says goodbye. And when I come home, dude, half the time she's busy doing other shit anyway.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, some people's opinion is that's not good. Dude, I don't worry about other people's opinion. I worry about my opinion. And my opinion is, when she gets old enough and needs my help and needs me around, I want to be able to be around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to financially help her and financially do things more than I want her to remember. When you were 2 years old, I spent every day with you. Do you remember that? She'll be like, no. Well, I did. Do you love me more? Or I want to make all these fucking haters about that type of thing wrong. Dude, I don't care what they think personally. And that's why you think I always go against everyone, because, dude, I just have my own opinion.
How do you determine, like, for example, let's go back to the real estate. How do you, like, a real estate agent, when the market's bad and you tell them, we'll go do something else, but how do you determine, like, keep fighting to get through that breakthrough, or when you determine to give up?
Well, I didn't say quit. I said quit or become the best at what you're doing.
Okay.
Because, dude, if you're going to be in the real estate game when the market's shitty, stop complaining and bitching and whining and crying and become the best. Because the best in the world get paid. The rest don't. Yeah. So at the end of the day, if you're going to be in real estate, stop fucking complaining about the market and start fucking, becoming better. Because, dude, there's a lot of people right now in this shitty market making a fucking killing.
Yeah.
I hear the mortgage industry is fucking terrible. Dude, I know several mortgage industry people that are crushing it. You know what they're doing? They're going to people that have fucking 20% credit card debt, but they have equity in their house. Now, would you rather fucking borrow at 8% and pay off the 20% debt, or fucking remain in debt at 20%?
Yeah, the other.
Well, dude, when you put it like that, fuck, you're an idiot if you don't go get a loan on your house at 8% to pay off 20% credit card debt. Why? Well, dude, because you're saving 12%, and that's the idea. So, oh, that makes sense. Well, dude, some people aren't thinking that.
Right.
They're just listening. Oh, dude, nobody's going to get a loan. Nobody wants to do business. This fucking market's crashing. Well, then quit, dude. Go do something else, because that is an option.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
No, absolutely. You're
And
right.
by the way, it might cause somebody to go be successful. But at the end of the day, that's not what I said. I said quit or stop complaining and be the best at it. Because at the end of the day, dude, if you're the best at anything, if you're the best at something, you're more than likely getting paid. I've never heard of anyone that's the best in the world that doesn't get paid.
Yeah.
Be the best in the world at marketing. You'll make a frickin' fortune. Be the best in the world at acting. Be the best in the world at detailing cars. Be the best in the world at playing a sport. Name somebody that's the best in the world that they don't get paid.
Yeah.
So if their goal is to get paid, well, just go become the best. Quit complaining. And that's all I was hearing in that audience is boo hoo hoo. The market's bad.
Yeah.
And then a lot of those people that go to those events, they're looking for answers because they don't like the answers they have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You already know to get up and work out. You already know to stop doing cocaine. You already know to fucking get rid of negative people. That's common sense shit to me. But you tell someone to do it and they can't. That's my high school friend. I'm not going to throw away my fucking lifelong relationship. You're just all about money. Fuck you. And then they stay the way they are because they don't want to do the shit that it takes. But dude, that's what I meant by I don't disagree. Dude, there's a lot of people. Wes, I agree with. Andy, I agree with. There's a bunch of people I agree with. Everything they're saying, I agree. I don't disagree unless they get almost can't understand how people fucking weigh their food. Like, dude, just enjoy your food. To me, I like to enjoy my food. Like, I'll go have a fucking New York strip, tuna pokey, little fucking the crackers that come with it.
Yeah.
Well, that's not good for you. Well, you're not going to get ripped eating like that. Well, then I guess I don't want to be ripped. Why? Well, give me the payoff. Show me that if I'm ripped, I'm going to have better life. Because I personally don't agree myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think when those fuckers that are all shredded up and eat fucking chicken breast their whole life die, they're going to fucking go, God damn it, I wish I had a donut. They're going to go, I guess I didn't need that many fucking abs. Like,
Yeah.
dude, who gave a fucking, especially because I'm married too. Now, if I was out on the market and there was different circumstances, I might agree. And if that's what they need to think and believe to go after it, cool. But like Wes, dude, if someone said, dude, if I could snap my fingers, would you want to look like Wes? Fuck yeah, dude. I'd love to be fucking jacked up. But if I could snap my fingers, then the answer is yes. I can't snap my fingers and look like that. I got to go put the fucking work in. And guess what? I don't believe that looking like that is going to improve my life to weigh out the difference. In other words, I look pretty good myself. I think I'm fine. Now, can I get in better shape? Yes, and I'm going to. But you know, I'm not talking about 10% body fat. I think that's good weight for me. I'm not getting to 3%. I'm not getting to 6%. I don't give a fuck. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference.
And what do you think when you have because you've had these conversations, I'm assuming, with Andy, and you and Andy are boys, you know?
Yeah, Andy says, dude, trust me, man. You know, but he believes that.
Right.
I don't necessarily believe it. Our podcast just dropped yesterday because we're coming out with this thing called The Revolution, which is coaching, mentoring, group calls. And I told him on the podcast, you know, me and him disagree on that. But that's what's cool about it. You know what I mean? Like, dude, if you're into it, Andy will get you fucking shredded. We got Aaron that's going to get everybody shredded in that thing. You know, we got the best fucking, Aaron is badass when it comes to fitness. So like, if you want to be shredded, we'll get you shredded. You don't want to be shredded? Don't be shredded. It's possible to be happy, because really that's the key, don't you think?
Yeah.
The bottom line is to be happy, dude.
Yeah.
If I'm happy at 10% body fat, now I'm not talking about, see, now people take it the other way and want to disagree with me. That's because you're taking it to the extreme. Do I think it's okay for you to be fucking a big fat blubbery fucking bitch titted fucking lard ass? No. I think everyone who's that fat should probably consider being in shape. Why? Their life will improve drastically. But we're talking about 10% to 4%. I don't see the payoff right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you yourself want to get really, really old? Or like, do you like, I want to be in my 90s,
Oh, I'd love to. But with movement and shit, like I don't want anyone taking care of me.
Okay.
If I'm ever, and everybody in the whole world can be their witness, if I'm ever old and someone has to wipe my ass and fucking, you know, just let me go. I've had enough. I've had a good life, by the way. If I died today, dude, I got so blessed. I'm so lucky. I lived unbelievable life. But if I could live another 55 fucking years and live to 110, moving around just a little older, absolutely.
Do you think eating a little bit healthier, like dropping some of the like the donuts and stuff like that, will give you that? Did he tell you anything? It doesn't matter based off your blood work.
Well, no, I mean, obviously, dude, sugar is not good for you. You'll get longevity off of eating better. Problem is I live in America. Show me real food. Someone said, well, you eat organically. They could say it's organic. It might not even be organic. They could say it has no sugar. A lot of times it says no sugar added. That doesn't mean no sugar. Not only that, there's other chemicals. I mean, there's American food that's the same in another country, but way less ingredients. If you look at for example, the U.S. version of cornflakes, look at the ingredients, and then go get cornflakes from another country. Same company makes them, and look at the ingredients. Why are the ingredients different? Well, because that country fucking outlawed all this stupid chemical bullshit. So I think it's almost impossible to fucking eat as clean as everybody thinks we can. And not only that, dude, at the end of the day, I believe it is what it is. Like, you're dying, bro.
Yeah.
I'm dying. You're dying. We're all dying. And if I could get 9 more years to eat chicken breast only, where I'd literally have to eat chicken breast only, 9 more years at what age?
Yeah.
Because again, well, Brad, you'd go from 99 to 108. No, 99's good. Give me that fucking donut.
Do you think if your blood work would have came back like, hey, you need to make these changes, you need to start eating more chicken and rice, you would have made those changes at that point? Or
100%.
Okay.
Because health is everything. If someone said, Brad, you eat one more fucking donut, dude, you're going to get diabetes and fucking have major health issues. Well, then the payoff's worth it.
Yeah.
So I might be wrong too, but that's just my opinion. I don't believe the difference between even 12% body fat and 3% body fat, the payoff is worth it. Because, dude, that's massive amounts of fucking work and dedication to get that shredded. Don't you know?
I was 33% body fat when I started. Right now I'm at 16.
Yeah, see, again, and you look fine. Now, if you never got any better and it's costing you problems because your discipline's not there and you just, you're weak, well, then I would say, dude, you need to keep going. But if you never, ever dropped below 16, but you lived an incredible fucking life, helped a bunch of people and, lived till you were 95 years old, is that a problem?
No, I mean, not when you put it like that, but I did feel like shit before. So now I feel amazing and everything. It's just.
Well, be careful though, because that's how I go up and down. I start getting in shape and then I'm like, well, fuck, dude, I don't need to do this. And then I get weaker. And then I'm like, I don't need to do this. And then I go, because it happens without you even realizing it.
And that's what I'm afraid of, that part, because I've never been this disciplined in my life, to be honest with you. Like, from having somebody who's training me, just eating right, eating as clean as possible, like you said, because you can't clean everything. I still like enjoying
Well, is
food.
it working?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then keep doing it. Because again, whatever I'm doing for fitness is working. And guess what I'm doing? Intermittent fasting and working out. Someone said, well, intermittent fasting, because you start to listen to people. I had someone tell me, oh, you don't want to do that. This was a doctor. Oh, no, you don't want intermittent fast. The studies show, well, yeah, those studies are yak, 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 and everyone has their own opinion. So guess what I'm doing? I'm looking at what's working.
Okay.
And what's working for me is intermittent fasting. Now, someone can tell me, dude, it's not working. Here's what's happening. Dude, it's working. I'm getting leaner. I'm getting freaking, you're going to lose muscle. My muscle composition is actually increased. I'm gaining muscle and losing fat with intermittent fasting.
What are you doing? 16 hours?
18.
18 hours? What are your hours?
Normally 2 to 8.
Oh, okay.
2 p.m. to 8. Like, if you would have came in at 11, which was the plan.
Yeah.
Well, the plan was 10, but 11, I was going to say, let's go grab a steak at Fleming's, but, oh shit. Hey, you want to spend an hour a week with me helping you become a business badass? Well, check out my group in the link below. I got to get going.
All right.
But, I'm going to go grab a steak at Fleming's with a side of sour cream, a tuna poke, and a blue cheese wedge. Delicious. Now, could I have went home and had cauliflower rice and a 2 chicken breasts? Yes. But it ain't very good. And by the way, if I had a competition to win, or I had a reason, or the payoff was there, I would do it. So I don't want anyone listening to think, okay, I'm going to get off my diet because Brad said I don't need to be. You may need to be. I don't believe the payoff is there, personally. Because if let's say I were 10% body fat, which is pretty lean, versus 7% body fat, I'll bet you people wouldn't even be able to tell. Like, I don't know that you're 16. Now, if your shirt was off and I was an expert, I might go, yeah, you're 16. Do I think you'll look better at frickin' 9? Of course you'll look better. The question is when you look better, is anything else going to get better? Because if the answer is no, I'll just sacrifice all that fucking deliciousness I could have enjoyed.
Yeah.
Well, then I would say don't do it. Why? Because, dude, listen, you're going to die one day, bro. You want to die never tasting a donut? Do you?
No, I mean, I love donuts, but I just think...
And by the way, I'll introduce you to somebody that's ripped as fuck, and he has donuts every Sunday.
What is it? Alex Hormozy? Or
No, but he says never skip dessert.
Yeah, I know.
So again, I mean, dude, there's people that are buff that say you can do it, but you got to get buff first. So just keep doing what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it for as long as you need to do it. Don't listen to me. I haven't sold you a coaching program.
No.
and if I ever did, I'm going to tell you my opinion, even if it contradicts everybody else's. Why? Because it's just my opinion. Now, if someone said, well, look at Wes and look at you. Okay. I would listen to him as far as fitness goes. Why? Well, because look at him. Don't listen to me, motherfucker. I got some chub.
Yeah.
But if someone were to say, hey, what about money? Well, again, dude, I got as much or more. So I could tell you what to do money wise. But if it's, no, I want to sell coaching. Well, then listen to him. Why? Well, because I don't sell coaching. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So my recommendation to people would be, listen, figure out where you want to go, what you want to do, and find someone who's already doing that, and don't listen to anybody else. So if I happen to be where you are or where you want to be, well, then fucking listen to me. I've been there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so with all that, because now I think I talk people out of being, in shape and on a diet. No, I did not. And I want to make sure nobody thinks I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Because if that's what you need, then you should do that. You should cut out all fucking sugars. You should be disciplined as fuck and never stop. Why? Because that's what you have to do in order to win. As long as you win, I just don't think 7% body fat is any bigger of a win than 10% body fat. I don't. Why? Well, because, dude, 10% is pretty damn good. And I'm married, number one. Number two, and I enjoy my life, and I want to enjoy my life. I don't want to be miserable all fucking day long. The payoff isn't worth it. I would be, but the payoff,
But isn't that just because right now you feel good? Because you did say that if your blood work would have came back and it would have been like, you need to go to 8% and you need to change your life.
If I had a crystal ball and I knew that, hey, Brad, you are wrong. That's costing you 24 years of your life. And matter of fact, when you're 61, you're going to start getting fucking these problems and these, dude, fuck yeah. But then the payoff's worth it. But I don't have a crystal ball. So all I can go is my intuition. My intuition is I'm going to be just fine. Do you know why?
Why?
Because I'm blessed. You know why else?
Why?
Because I have 4 angels when everybody else has 1.
Nice.
I have 4. I'm protected 360 degrees. And if I die, bro, it's only because, I'll bet you anything. If and when I die, no one's going to give a fuck 50 years later. And I'll bet you it's the same for you.
Yeah, I agree.
And Wes and Andy and everybody. Because, dude, we're all dying. Now, if you had a crystal ball and you knew that, hey, you would live to 95 years old and be happy as fuck whether you ate French fries or not, would you eat French fries?
Of course.
And by the way, French fries, I don't know if you've heard about French fries.
No, what about them?
When you deep fry starches, it produces acrylamide. And acrylamide is like literally toxic and will cause cancer. French fries, according to some, cause cancer because of acrylamide. You done with French fries?
No.
How come? You just saw a fucking study.
But I mean, I think it goes back to...
It goes back to what I'm saying. Because you don't believe the payoff.
No.
Because you don't think I'm going to eat a French fry and die. But if you knew you eating one more fucking French fry, bro, you're getting cancer in 3 years. Of course you wouldn't eat a French fry. So that's why, like, I have my own opinion. Because I just don't believe just because someone else believes so much. They believe that you have to. I don't believe you have to. I think there's a happy middle ground.
Yeah.
I believe that, at least for me, and I'm talking for me, by the way. I'm not talking about anybody else. I believe if Andy
Have you ever
went
seen
out and ate
Andy?
whatever he wanted one more day a week, I bet you he'd be fucking fine. I'll bet you anything he'd be fine. And I'll bet you wouldn't even know. If he snuck it, you wouldn't even know.
Does he? Have you ever seen him eat a donut or anything like that?
Yeah. Every time he goes out with me, we have dessert. Because I say, what do you have? I say, what do you have for dessert? And he just used to it now. Now him and Jackie, and they tell me, dude, the only people we eat this shit with is you. And guess what? Can you tell he had a dessert that day?
No, he looks more jacked than ever.
Right, but in his mind, if he has it every day, maybe he will lose discipline in another area. So in that regard, dude, he's doing the right thing. Whatever you need to do to be happy, to me, is what you should do. And I'm not happy being 100% miserable. I don't believe I have to be. I think I can get away with both. I might be wrong.
Well, you got 4 angels, so you're different from the rest of us.
Dude, I got quad angels, man. I'm telling you.
Let me tell you, at 43 at 208 pounds, I felt horrible.
Well, dude, how tall are you?
I'm 5'9".
Yeah, so that's like me being fucking 360.
Yeah.
5'9", 200 pounds?
208.
208.
Yeah. I feel amazing now.
Well, yeah. What do you weigh now?
I weigh 165.
See, that's where you should have been. So you were fat though, bro.
I was hella fat.
Yeah. So again,
and my sex drive was horrible.
Yeah, and the benefits been massive.
Yeah.
But keep going. Yeah, but watch, keep going, and pretty soon you're gonna look good, but you're not gonna be, you don't have that fucking bicep vein. Versus now you got the bicep vein. I'll bet you she's not gonna go, oh my God, you've arrived, you've got the bicep vein. Thank God, the whole world, everyone's gonna make a fucking path to your door now. Yeah. All your businesses are gonna fucking explode because you got a little bit more in shape. It's not gonna happen, and it doesn't happen for them either.
That's true.
I believe. I don't believe Andy would lose business if he was a little less in shape. I just don't believe it. But if he does, then I'll fucking support him.
But you know what it is? I think about Andy is just that I love about him. Is just he just makes everybody else want to be better. I mean, because I feel amazing.
That's called.
You know what I mean?
That's called a fucking great coach.
Because when I went to his office, their energy there is freaking amazing. I was like, people faking it here? Because everybody would get up and come and shake your hand. Hey, welcome. Anything you need, this and that.
Dude, that's a culture,
me
man.
and Kim were like, holy moly. We signed up for like this couples thing that we're going in March with them, and we're like, yeah, we're going. Like, you know what I mean? It was just amazing. And the first time I met Andy, he grabbed me from the love handle. I didn't even know who he was. And he's like, you like this? And he just grabbed the shit out of my love handle. And he's like, what is this? And he looked at Kim and he's like, this is acceptable to you? And I was like, fuck is this guy? Because I didn't even know who Andy was. He was just first time coming off stage, you know?
Well, I've seen him do that to somebody that's in pretty damn good shape.
Well, it bothered the shit out of me, let me tell you. And I told him, I was like, in March, I'm going to be all ripped on the beach and all this. And he was like, let's do it.
Are you going to be?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been relentless.
You're only going to lose on average 1% of body fat per week. So how many weeks away is
it's in March, the couples boot camp.
So you have no excuse if you're not.
All.
That means you got weak like a bitch. You don't want to be a bitch in March. And I might even be there with them.
I hope. So you could see.
Well, again,
No
dude, you better fucking be shredded, dude.
Yeah.
I'm bringing the calipers to see your fucking. And then I'll ask you, like, was it worth it? Because again, to me, if it's worth it, 100%.
Yeah.
But personally, and it's not just weight, it's again, like, I don't believe that if I go home and spend one more hour with my children, that it's going to make a big, huge difference. I just don't believe so. I would rather, not worry about that. Why? Because, dude, listen, everybody's got their own shit to do, man. Are you happy? If the answer is yes. Now, again, if you're happy and obese and you're heading towards a fucking heart attack, then it doesn't matter that you're happy. You're heading towards a heart attack. But I'm talking about don't go to the extreme of the other way. I'm talking about guys in pretty damn good shape. You can see his six pack. Like Albert, you can kind of see his six pack, but it ain't fucking shredded.
You know he's going to see this, it's going to bother him. He's gonna be like,
he needs to get shredded, dude. He needs to do a different body part other than his chest. Okay, but my point is, Albert's in shape. Yeah. Albert don't look fat. Dude, I'll bet you he'll be just fine his whole fucking life. And guess what? He drinks. He freaking eats. He enjoys his life. So again, Albert's proof. He doesn't need to fucking get more shredded. Now, if it serves him to do so in such a way, a massive way that we're unaware of, which may be the case, we're unaware because we haven't done it. Well, then I would change my tune. But from my experience at 54 years old, which is older than Albert and older than you and older than Wes and older than Andy, I don't believe that you have to. I believe that you can. I believe, sure, you should if it makes you feel better. But I also believe there's going to be a lot of people that were fucking shredded their whole life, and then they die, and they'll look back and go, that was kind of senseless. Why? Well, because again, I told you, if you right now were told, listen, you could get 7% body fat your whole life and all this would happen. Over here, you can enjoy all the things you enjoy and the same thing's going to happen. Which one would you pick?
Yeah, the other one. They're good. But
the only reason people are doing it is because they believe that that's what it takes. And I don't believe that. Why? Because, dude, I've succeeded without it. I used to get chicks chubby. Well, you'll get way more chicks if you're in shape. Probably true, but I got plenty. Yeah. I don't need any more, actually. Like, dude, I had too many. Yeah. My point is I didn't need to. But would it have been true if I'd have been in shape? I'd have got way better. Well, maybe. Way more, maybe. But did I want any more? I've had enough, so I'm good there. So why are you getting in shape now, Brad? Well, because, dude, I also realize that my words will carry more weight if I'm in shape. And if I lift up my shirt and you can see a six pack, and Aaron and Wes lift up their shirt and you can see a fucking more chiseled six pack, I don't think someone's going to go, oh, what a piece of shit. Look, he's only got a freaking 9% body fat and they're fucking 8. I just don't believe so.
Yeah.
Personally.
But I think from what I'm hearing from you is
we should go all do a podcast with all of them so they can defend themselves.
That would be sick. But I think
let's get Albert, let's get Wes, let's get Andy and you back on a podcast.
We should.
This one, and we'll debate.
Who do you think will win?
Well, I think the audience will win.
Yeah.
Because, no one's going to convince me of shit unless they got some sort of fucking proof to change my mind.
But aren't stats show you like the more healthy you eat, the more in shape you are, the longer you're gonna live? I mean, obviously
No,
there's
fuck
diseases.
no. You don't think anyone ripped dies?
I mean, yeah. But,
Okay,
but
well
I'm
then-
saying if you look at it as a whole, the most people that are in shape and eat
total
better live
bullshit,
longer.
dude. Nope.
You don't think
Not
so?
true. Well, you just said, have you ever checked your blood? You've seen some healthy motherfuckers on the outside. They ain't healthy on the inside. A lot of those really fit, fucking shredded motherfuckers, dude. They're so unhealthy. It's unbelievable. Their blood work says they're about to fucking die, but yet they're better shape than both Andy and fucking Wes.
Wow. Yeah.
Am I right?
No, you're right.
But again, who knows? What can we believe anymore?
That's true.
Have you read the new article that cholesterol's not bad for you?
No.
So high cholesterol does not cause any problems at all. In fact, you'll live longer with the higher cholesterol that you have. This article just shows it. And what they're saying is sugar is the culprit, but the meat industry and the, sweet industry, all these industries cause all these studies and fund these studies to make eating meat look bad. Why? Well, because we want to sell more fucking vegetables. And then the dairy farms come out and say, oh, you don't want fucking milk. I mean, against dairy. And then milk's bad for you. You heard milk's bad for you?
Yeah, I heard that.
Is it? I don't know. Who do you believe? In my opinion, it doesn't matter. Look back over time, you're going to realize it was all fucking kind of stupid in the first place. Just like when you fucking cried and got all butthurt when you broke up with a girl. You ever done that?
Yeah.
Now what?
Is a shit.
Feel like a dumbass. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I wasted a month and a half blubbering. Stupid. And I think that's what's going to happen when we all die. And I know for a fact, if I could say, hey, Wes, you can eat whatever the fuck you want and still look like you look, he would eat whatever the fuck he wants. And he probably does, because Wes told me he fucking, he does macros most of the day, but he has kick-ass meals. And so does Andy. And so do most buff people. Like I know one ripped as fuck, dude. Looks a lot like Wes, by the way. He's ripped as fuck. He says donuts every Sunday. So I got to get somewhere between no fucking donuts and donuts every Sunday, and I think that's the sweet spot.
Well, look at Alex Hormozi. He always never skips dessert. And they have some good ass
He's
desserts.
in fucking shape like a motherfucker, too.
He looks ripped. He
So
looks
again,
good.
I mean, dude, do you think if he was better in shape, he'd be better off?
Yeah.
Do you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think
Because
every
he can be
single
in better
person-
shape.
I've never met anybody who is in shape that doesn't not have its, like, I don't know what if you want to call it cheat meals or stuff like that. That's why I've never ate with Andy, but that's why I asked you if he's ever had a cheat meal or some kind of like donut or something.
100%. But again, I think we're talking about extremes here.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I do believe you should get in shape. I do believe if I were coaching somebody, I'd say get up, work out, eat right. But what's eat right? Okay, don't eat garbage. Don't eat fucking McDonald's and garbage. Go have fucking clean food. But if someone says, hey, I had a piece of cake for my daughter's birthday yesterday, I wouldn't be like, you fucking weak ass. I'd be like, good for you, man. Are you happy? Yeah, I'm happy. But if that caused a fracture in their discipline and their routine, and that caused mentally for them to slide and get fat and unhealthy again, well, then that is a problem. But for me, it's not a problem yet. And when people say that, it's like, it sounds like I got a problem that I don't admit I have. But dude, listen, I don't, just like drinking. I used to drink till I was fucking belligerent drunk. But we had fun, man. We'd go out and fucking just get shit-faced hammered. It was fun. I've done it many times with fucking Albert.
Yeah.
Albert still does it. So does Sil. You ever been drinking with him?
Yeah, I've drank with everybody.
You know how fucking Sil gets. Everyone's like, God damn, she's drunk. But she's having fun as hell, too. Yeah. And we had a lot of fun getting drunk. Well, one day I got drunk and, my dumb ass was talking shit and fucking jeopardized some relationships, embarrassed my wife a millionth time, not the only time. And I said, dude, I'm done with that shit. I won't get drunk anymore. My wife said, yeah, right. Never been drunk since.
Really?
Yeah, because I can do what I need to do, but it's an extreme, dude. Like, I'll still have a drink. I don't need to say I don't drink anymore.
Got it.
You don't drink anymore? Fuck yeah, I'll have a drink. You want to do a shot? You want to go get a Clase Azul and get a little buzz on, drink a bottle of wine? Sure, I will. I'm not getting hammered anymore. Why? It doesn't serve me.
But before, when you did get hammered, did you have the intentions to get hammered? Were you like, I'm gonna get tore up? or it
Well,
just
that's
kind of
the-
happened?
That's the only reason I did it.
Gotcha.
Like, why drink if you're not going to get drunk? Which is why I don't really drink. People say, let's grab a drink. Why one? Like, I'm going to party, or why drink at all? But I don't say I don't drink. Why? Because, dude, what if we're out and about and fucking, I want to have a fucking glass of tequila and an orange and I just want to sip it on the beach, and I told you I don't drink. What would you think?
Lose credibility. Like, what?
Yeah,
Hypocrite.
so I don't say it. Why? Because I don't need to be that extreme. I don't need to be that extreme. I don't need to have fucking 3% body fat. Now, if someone sees me with 3% body fat and they go, I thought you didn't need that. I don't need it. I chose it. I decided it. Why? Contest, competition. Wes fucking challenged me. Andy fucking challenged me. And I got there. But if someone's asking, does Brad believe that 7% body fat versus 10% body fat, your life will be amazingly different, so it's worth that sacrifice? Because that's a sacrifice, bro. There's a big difference in what you got to eat to get that little bit of a difference. And for my answer would be no, I don't think so. I think you can be happy and successful and still, have a little window to enjoy your life. Because what if your life's over, dude, and you spent the whole time in that misery? Because to me, dude, when I'm eating shit food, healthy shit, no flavor food, weighing it out and fucking, one time I had to eat tilapia, and I'm fucking on an airplane. I'm on an airplane with fucking Tupperwares filled with fucking tilapia because it was a long flight. They're fucking serving all this kick-ass food. I should have just ate the goddamn food. It wouldn't have fucking mattered. But no, goddammit, I have to eat tilapia.
Shit.
So I suffered, and I opened up tilapia, and I started fucking eating, and I almost puked. I couldn't finish it, dude. I could not finish it. And then, you got to finish it. You got to get your macros. You got to, whatever you do, you got to get this. So I'm like, fuck. And I was miserable for 3 months. And I looked pretty good, but I look just as good now. And I'm not doing that. So guess what? Fuck that tilapia. I ain't eating tilapia. But if you said, Brad, if you found out tilapia would make you live to 100, and if you don't, you're living to 59, I'll eat fucking tilapia. But dude, I don't believe that's the case. And until I do, I ain't changing.
What does your wife think of? Like,
Dude, this
your
should be your
changes?
podcast. Why don't I come on your podcast?
Seriously, you
like,
need
this is
to.
the longest podcast I think I've ever done.
I love it.
All right, I'll come on yours. You can ask all these questions.
Please.
Folks, listen, we got to let you go. Go follow this dude, Real Edwin Lopez, just like it sounds. If you're an underdog, you want to start a business, you don't know how, you ain't got the balls, get a hold of this man. He'll show you step by step how to do so. Appreciate you coming in. Glad for your success.
Thank you so much.
And
Albert.
until next time.
Brad.
Huh? What'd you say?
I called you Albert.
Albert. Hey. No problem, Larry. Till next time, keep it real. You're procrastinating. You're like, well, it's tougher than it sounds. See, now you're talking negatively to yourself. You're getting your belief system involved. Okay, it's not that easy, Brad. I've tried stopping and I wasn't able to. Well, again, let's look at why you weren't able to. Because you chose not to.